This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big updates to share with you. President Biden's poll numbers are hitting a new low. I'll play a video clip of exactly the reasons why. When it comes to stimulus update, 3 reasons why U.S. poverty levels could soar now, and millions of families to get $100 checks for every taxpayer and their kids under new stimulus proposal. One state is getting $300 stimulus checks, and the new billionaire tax is almost going to be launched. I'll play you more details on that in a video clip, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video, but first, Biden approval rating falls to record low in NBC News poll. I've been talking about this the past few days. Different polls are saying that President Biden is falling to an all-new low in terms of approval ratings. Not just one poll, but multiple. Take a look at this video clip right here, giving more details.
Steve Kornacki, COVID is basically the bright spot in this poll. Pretty much everywhere else, the president's struggling, and the war's not helping him either. Take us inside the numbers.
Yeah, a couple interesting developments there. I mean, obviously, you're talking about the situation in Ukraine. Another question we asked here is just the basic approve, disapprove of Biden's handling of the situation with Russia, Ukraine. There it is, 41% approve on that. That's pretty much matching his overall job approval rating, which, as you said, sits now at 40%. So what's keeping his numbers so low here overall? Interestingly, COVID, as you say, it's not dragging him down like it was in the last few polls. Right now, Biden back above 50% approval for his handling of COVID. Compare that to our most recent poll back in January. He was at 44% then. You know, cases are down. We've seen masks, restrictions starting to ease here. So those numbers may be ticking back up for Biden, but not bringing up his overall approval rating. And I think a lot of that has to do with this, the economy. And what you see here is we've been asking this question on Joe Biden's handling of the economy his entire presidency. If you go back to the beginning, he actually had a above water 52% approval rating, and you could see how it has just ticked down poll after poll throughout his presidency. In January, he fell below 40 for the first time. And now in our most recent poll, look at this, down to a 33% approval rating for Biden on the economy. It's nearly 2-to-1 disapprove on the economy. So these numbers have just been getting worse and worse for Biden. And when you ask folks what is on their mind, what they think the top issue is facing the country right now, look, there is a lot of attention on the Russia-Ukraine war. There are a lot of folks who are following that closely, but it's not number one and it's not number two. Number one and number two you see right here. It's the cost of living, it's jobs and the economy. Those are the two issues at the forefront of most voters' minds here, at least a plurality here. So you look at Biden's numbers on the economy, you look at what's on voters' mind, and I think you start to see the recipe there for that poll standing. And then here's one more, I think just an interesting way of asking this. We asked in this poll, hey, let's stipulate both of these things are important, the economy, that war with Russia and Ukraine. But which one do you voters think should be Joe Biden's top priority as president? Helping to reduce inflation and improve the economy, 68%. Helping to end the Russia-Ukraine war, more than 2-to-1, saying focus on those domestic economic issues first.
With that low of an approval rating, do you think another Democrat should run in place of President Biden? What are your thoughts on President Biden in general? Could he do a better job? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Sorry, my throat. Next, let's get into stimulus news. So, stimulus update. 3 reasons why U.S. poverty levels could now soar. So this article came out saying the U.S. economy has recovered nicely from the pandemic. In spite of that, more Americans could be plunged into poverty this year. So number one, stimulus checks are off the table this year. In terms of a federal stimulus check, like a 4th federal stimulus check, doesn't seem likely. We're seeing the possibility of gas stimulus checks and more targeted checks in cities and states, but in terms of a general one, that's not going to happen. Then the boosted child tax credit hasn't been expanded. There's been a lot of promises that the child tax credit would continue, that monthly check of either $250 or $300 or $3,000 for the year, $3,600 for the year. Those have not been continued. There's been a few proposals and talk about it, although none of that has come to fruition and there has been no vote or any standalone bill like that. And then there's nothing nothing's been done to address rampant inflation. So you would think with inflation that they would try to have a fourth stimulus check, a general check to help people, or at least something tied to inflation where if inflation rises, more people would get aid or help. That hasn't happened either. And then when it comes to the Build Back Better plan or the Building a Better America, which has a bunch of stimulus provisions in it, or at least it did, that hasn't moved forward at all either. We hear private, secret negotiations with Manchin, but we haven't heard anything public about that. So those are the updates with those stimulus provisions. Just want to keep it real with you, tell you the truth, not try to lead you on and say everything is magical and great and things are going to happen. I just want to let you know what's happening and exactly how it's happening. So here are some other stimulus proposals and checks going out, though. Like I said, these aren't on a federal level, more on a state level. So millions of families to get $100 checks for every taxpayer and their kids under new proposals. So this is going on in Hawaii. So Governor David Ige announced the new proposal in his annual State of the State address to legislators. So basically, families could get $100 checks. So he proposed $100 tax refund to taxpayers that would work out to $400 for a family of 4. Of course, those with more children would get more. So basically, every person gets $100 and dependents get $100 as well. And you have to live in Hawaii to get this. Let me know your thoughts on that. Is this a good idea, bad idea? Should more states expand this type of policy? Yeah, so the $100 stimulus checks, which could be a lot more in Hawaii there. And then Delaware announced $300 gas checks, or checks in general. So Delaware stimulus checks, taxpayers to get $300 as gas prices rise. And so, yeah, this is going on in Delaware. And they said, I think by June 30th, they should know for sure, at least that's when they're going to be sent out. So $300 checks to Delawareans. I'm not sure if I said that right, but yeah, that's what's going on there. And then Biden wants to hit billionaires like Elon Musk with a new tax on their fortunes, but his budget plan actually pivots to the center. So mentioned this the other day. So the Biden budget contained a new billionaire tax meant to hit the fortunes of the super rich. Basically 20% of their wealth could be taxed. My biggest question is what's going to happen with this money? So I know taxes are good. They help out with building schools and help our service members and troops protect our country. But the thing I don't like about taxes is that it's going towards lazy Congress members' salaries for not doing enough for the people and other shady stuff that the government does. So I wish when they would propose something like this, they would say, all right, this billionaire tax is going to go towards helping out kids with, who can't get lunch at school. Is going to be a specific program for that or something that would make us feel better about paying taxes. Anyway, that's what I think. Here's more details about the billionaire tax.
Right now, billionaires pay an average rate of 8% on their total income. 8%, that's the average they pay. Now, I'm a capitalist, but if you can make $1 billion, great. Just pay your fair share. Pay a little bit. A firefighter and a teacher pay more than double the tax rate that a billionaire pays. That's not right. That's not fair.
That was the president today unveiling what the administration is calling the billionaire minimum income tax as part of the president's fiscal year 2023 budget proposal. The tax targets the 700 wealthiest Americans. The administration says the new tax for the super wealthy, quote, would only apply to the wealthiest 100th of 1% of households. Those with more than $100 million and over half the revenue would come from billionaires alone. It would ensure that they pay at least 20% of their total income in federal income taxes. The tax is projected to raise $361 billion over 10 years. Economist Gabriel Zucman at the University of California, Berkeley, estimates that the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, would pay an additional $50 billion in federal taxes. Jeff Bezos would pay an additional $35 billion, and Mark Zuckerberg would pay an additional $16 billion. Joining us now is Democratic Representative Katie Porter, of California. She's a member of the House Oversight Committee and the deputy chair of the House Progressive Caucus. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Congresswoman Porter. How will this tax work, since it's aimed at wealth as opposed to income?
So the basic idea here is that billionaires earn income that escapes the ordinary tax system. For most of us, a dollar we earn is a dollar that we put on our tax returns. But for the ultra wealthy, when they earn an extra dollar, it's a dollar that they're able to defer taxation on and set aside, often for decades or generations, and avoid taxation. So what this really does is just accelerate those taxes so that they're paid evenly as they are earned, which is exactly what happens to the rest of us.
But so this taxes gains, for example, gains earned in the stock market. We see reports all the time that people like Elon Musk, his wealth just increased by, a few $1 billion here, a few $1 billion there. But that's just happening on paper. That wealth could also go down if the stock goes down. So the wealth hasn't been realized. It hasn't been collected by selling the stock. So how do you get at what you're trying to tax here?
So you would simply look at what is their total realized income, the sort of normal income that the rest of us have. Then you look at what is their unrealized income. So what is the value of the stocks and bonds and liquid investments that they hold at tax time? And to be clear, those amounts can go up and down, but so can the rest of us, can have incomes that go up and down throughout the year. And we pay taxes on what we have at the end of the year, over the year, and they get in the phase-in at the beginning of this tax, they have up to 9 years to pay the initial amount owed. And then after that, they would have 5 years to make any additional payments. To be clear, this is a minimum tax. If you are an ultra-wealthy individual, and believe me, if you're one of these handful of people in this country, you know it. If you are one of the handful of people in that 0.01%, then this simply makes sure that you're paying no less than 20% of your taxes. If you're already paying 20% of your taxes in your income and taxes, this tax doesn't do anything to you. This is simply about making sure that we hit that minimum of 20%.
What are your thoughts on that? Should there be a higher tax on billionaires? Is 20% enough? Should it be higher than that? What do you think about taxing unrealized gains? It's a really interesting concept. Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is the tip of the day. Want me to tell you the one thing that you should do? You should, when you feel bad, take a couple deep breaths in and out. And also, after that, you can realize that things are better. So, bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So yeah, everything is good with the kids. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention is over the weekend, my daughter Bella learned how to ride a bicycle. We haven't done it because, past places we live, we had busy streets and stuff, but Bella learned within 20 minutes, and it was from Christine, my wife, teaching her. I was actually at my pickleball tournament, and Bella learned within 20 minutes how to ride a bicycle. So I thought that was pretty cool. Here's some clips of that. And yeah, if you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.